Hello, this is Ice. Gonna be casting a zerg versus protoss, looks like, between vileSpanishiwa as the blue zerg, and down here as the red protoss we have LiquidTyler. Firstly, I'm not familiar with the spelling of the name. I'm not sure how his name is spelled in game, but I do know Spanishiwa, one of my favorite zerg players, just because he's so different. I'm not sure if he invented the style, which is called the Spanishiwa build, but very different. Usually getting the gas around 40 supply, and trying to produce mainly drones as long as he can, is basically what he does. And if you can use the build effectively, then it's extremely good. And in this forward pylon here, I just want to say, makes it look as if we're going to see an early expand, maybe a 3-gate into Nexus. We'll see what happens there. Probably going to be walling off here with the gateway, cybernetics core, maybe then getting the other 2 gateways, the Nexus. Not sure, I have not seen this game before, as I don't watch games before I cast them. Sorry about that. Anyhow, we have, as you see, only drone production here, and the spawning pool coming up at 14 supply, so a 14 pool, possibly 13 expo. 14 pool, this map can support the 14 pool, especially when they're in the diagonal positions, although I don't think Spanishiwa has scouted his opponent yet. We'll be doing that very soon, as the Overlord just coming in here, realizing there is no base, and Spanishiwa may be going for the expo pretty early, since the protoss looks like he's going to do that. I think he really needs to go for an early expo, and maybe early aggression, or a really quick third. So we'll see what he goes for here. The spawning pool just about to finish, and I'll pull up the production tab now, just to keep track with what's going on. And we can see chrono boosting some zealots, the probe just popping in here. And the rally point was set to in here, although we're going to notice that the zerg player has not spawned down here. I'm not sure if the protoss is scouted up here, but going to find out where the zerg is very soon. And this is very uncharacteristic from Spanishiwa, getting an extractor so early, and a roach warren. I have seen him do this build before. I'm not sure if it was the exact same build, but he is not known for this. He is known mainly for the Spanishiwa build, as I said before, getting gas around 40 supply. And we can see here those chrono boosted zealots, I would say not as effective, just because the zerg player didn't spawn down here where he thought he may have. Probably going to be seeing a proxy pylon pretty soon, and some reinforcement zealots maybe. Otherwise, the production of such early zealots would have been very cost ineffective. We see here the expansion now going down for Spanishiwa, and the early roach warren would have defended him should the protoss have decided to actually go through in that attack. You can see here a photon cannon, 2 photon cannons going down just for some static defense. Meanwhile, the Nexus about a quarter way done. No gas yet for the protoss. Just as I say that, getting at one gazer, may get the other one up very rapidly. About halfway down on that hatchery there. No lair tech as yet. He may use that on the zerg and speed. We will see right now what he's going to do with that gas. Getting an evolution chamber here, I guess fairly early. And what did he use that gas on? Some roaches and zerglings moving down here. Although these 3 photon cannons are going to defend against that pretty nicely, although still having some view here. That's got to be pretty frustrating for the protoss player. Then maybe able to run the zerglings or the roaches straight around the corner here. May decide to throw some more photon cannons over here, just to destroy units on the low ground. And it looks like he's going to use this gateway if he's not careful. Yeah, he is going to use this gateway, chrono boosting this one to make up for it. And yeah, there's the photon cannon I was talking about. But that's a pretty nice advantage there for the zerg player, just getting one of those buildings so early in the game. Leaving the roaches down here, Moving the Overlord in, just gonna see what's going on over the Stalker. Going to repulse. There we go. Gonna be taking down that Stalker. Makes the need sure to keep vision of it, and the Overlord may go down. However, Zerg player not going to be able to come out of that round just because of all of the photon cannons. And the Zerg player realizing he cannot save the Overlord, so moving it as far in as possible to see what his opponent has gone for. There's the Cybernetics core and the forge in the back. You see the roaches moving back towards the base. Meanwhile, the Zerg player's supply bot, because of that, running on one extractor, if I'm correct. Yeah, one extractor. Just getting the other one now. And Zerg melee attacks gonna finish very soon, so we're probably gonna be seeing some fairly heavy Zergling production may take on the Stalker, or just continue scouting. Not gonna be able to run up that ramp, as I said, because of all the photon cannons. Pylon coming up just at the back here, running on 3 assimilators there, the protoss. Stalker moving in here, I'm not sure why he's doing that. Maybe looking for an expansion. The Spore Crawler in here, just in case there were any void rays of the sort, as I do not think the Zerg player has scouted sufficiently, and the Stalker trying to get up the ramp. Not paying attention to that Stalker. That's going to be unfortunate for the Protoss, as he did not get the scouting information he wanted. And again, I'm noticing this a lot now with Zerg players getting the lair down at the expansion. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it is because of some sort of timing. I'm not sure. It is less defendable than the main, obviously. And the problem is that if your natural gets taken out early, then you lose the branch of tech. And I'm just going to see here, no, SpanishiWa does not have view inside the main base. Running some Zerglings up here, just going to need a wall of cannons and a lot of Phoenixes here. Maybe seeing some harass on the drone mineral line. Meanwhile, Zerg melee attacks and ground carapace coming up along with a Spire. The Spore Crawler, I think, just going to be out of range, but they did go, they're going to take out the Queen. Going to take out the Queen, as I said. Spore Crawler just barely repulsing it, however the Queen is a significant loss, just because of the spawn larva ability. And a lot of Overlords bunched up over here, don't want to lose any of them to the Phoenixes. We can see just picking off another one, this may supply, yeah, there we go, there's a supply block. And transferring some drones down here, as there is a hatchery about to pop up. However, the Protoss does see that little drone migration here. It's going to be pretty unfortunate. If he moves on a tiny bit later, he would have avoided that. And I think all these drones here, most of them at least, going to go down, although morphing some of them into Spore Crawlers. So a nice decision there, although still losing a bunch of drones. That's going to set back SpanishiWa a fair bit. And you can see here the Phoenix is just moving across the map, and Overseer over here and some Zerglings finishing up their attacks level 2. Gonna take out the Overseer, may decide to pick up some Zerglings. Not gonna waste the energy, however, bringing out some Zealots, and he should pull the Zerglings back here. Yeah, there we go. An Observer out on the field, maybe worried of burrowed roaches. A Colossi is coming up, along with the extended thermal lance upgrade. Looks like we're going to see an expansion over here. There we go. The probe may get taken out, although that would be fairly careless on the part of the Protoss. No, it does not. So, gonna be 3 base against 3 base very soon. SpanishiWa does not go for another expansion. And if he does, he may be at a disadvantage just because he has so little army. And there's the another hatchery going up for SpanishiWa. Not opting to go for it over here. And Corruptor, 3 more Corruptors coming up just to deal with those Phoenixes, as they are being very pesky, taking off the drones and the Queen. And we can see here, just getting mined out of the back, one Infestor on the way. And I don't think we're going to be I just was about to say, I don't think we'll be seeing high tech very soon, but there's the high tech. And again, this is very common of Spanishiwa to go for high tech extremely early. Usually you'll see it, for example, maybe 25-30 minutes into the game. But here, according to this clock, 40 minutes. Zergling's gonna have to run away. Phoenix is just coming in there, 2 cannons at the base. Haven't saturated these, there we go, there's the probes coming up to saturate the simulators, and this hatchery just about to finish up. We're going to see some corruptors just roaming about the map, maybe trying to catch those phoenixes out of position, and some zerglings just on the field for scouting purposes. One observer over here, so he is going to know what unit composition the zerg is moving with. I should note that the fairly late gas by the protoss, not seeing that affect the build now, as it's so much later in the game. 3 colossi and a bunch of stalkers, and a whole load of phoenixes as well. The zerg player may be in a lot of trouble now. You see a bunch of zealots here which are going to tank the damage. The extended thermal lance has completed. Blink is on the way. The colossi are going to be extremely useful. Although there are a lot of corruptors on the field, if the phoenixes are unable to deal with them, the colossi will go down very rapidly, as these are a lot to focus fire by stalkers. We can see they're going to have to back off just because of the stalker count here. Nice bungalow, capturing a couple of those phoenixes. Look, he should focus fire the colossi, and should be backing these off from the stalkers. Don't want to lose too much of them, as he really needs to use those primarily to take down the colossi. And losing a lot of those to stalkers, just linking those up here. So nice play by the protoss, avoiding losing the colossi. Only lost 1, I believe. The zerg player here with a fair amount of zerglings. Maybe he's going to go for a base race, or I don't think that's a very good idea. If he gets a nice round on all these stalkers, he'll be in pretty good shape. The colossi are going to do severe damage to the economy over here. You can see the queen just about to die, but this is the danger of having the high tech over here. If that goes down, he loses the entire tech tree. Although he does have a lot of upgrades so far. The greatest fire was here. If that goes down, not will be able to get any more broodlords. Zerg player, not looking pretty good for the zerg. Protoss forces are going to be moving up the ramp right away. The Breadlord should be cancelled, although I don't think he'll be focusing on that at all. A couple zerglings here, but not going to be enough. A couple zealots in the mineral line, and it looks like this is going to be GG for the zerg player. Although 30 zerglings, was just about to say, 30 zerglings were just finishing, were 24 to 24, they were literally about to pop. Well, that wasn't going to be enough. So, good game though by both players here. LiquidTyler, a very good player, of course, in the Liquid group. Very strong players, all of them. And vileSpanishiwa, an amazing zerg player, not starting off with his standard build, a bit awkward there. And good game from both the players. That's going to be the end of the cast. So like the video as it gets more views, and if you want to subscribe, see what I'm doing, you can subscribe, see the next video I put out. And thanks for watching.